Hey, what's up, guys? How is everybody? Happy 420. Now, is it 420 yet? I believe it is. So today we are going to be interviewing CJ Melone, who is the CEO of NUGL. So first and foremost, guys, welcome to Backdoor Marketing with Jessica. I'm your host, Jessica. And today we're going to be interviewing CJ Melone. So we're going to be waiting a couple of minutes while he requests to join the live. Hey, what's up, CJ? Okay, so I see him now. It is hot today. Good Lord, it's hot. View request. Okay, perfect, CJ, I see you. Go live. Hello. Happy 420. How are you?
How are you? I'm good. How are you?
I'm very good. All right, so let's just jump into it, guys. We are here with CEO of NUGL and co-founder CJ Melone. And he is here to talk to us today about what NUGL is. First of all, what NUGL is, why do you care, why choose us, why we're better. So let's just jump right into it, yeah?
Yeah.
All right. Just getting down to the nitty-gritty right away. Coronavirus has been hell on everybody across the board in the marijuana, cannabis, hemp industry. Can you tell me where NUGL has been and what they've been doing in the on the back end, in the forefront? What's NUGL been up to all this time?
Oh, so nobody knew the shutdown and the pandemic would go on as long as it did. We were fortunate enough to start a few big projects that we thought were going to take maybe a year or so. So we took the time to hunker down and really solidify the blueprint of the company. We rebuilt the apps from scratch. There was a lot of new compliance things that came out with Apple and Android related to the cannabis industry. So we tackled those obstacles. There were big ones. Added a ton of new features, rebuilt the front end and all new code. And we consolidated the magazines. We added, I think 7 new contributors. We added people like yourself. We have a whole new team. But we really took that time, instead of forcing things that we didn't think were going to be worth our while and have diminishing returns. We just slowed it down, kind of went with the flow, and really built the company from the inside out, ready for 2021.
So I think that just in that answer alone, I think it calls for the question, what NUGL in the first place, because obviously, I know, many of our viewers know, but there's so many moving components. There's so many pieces to NUGL, and that there's a lot of different people who see us as just one thing or just another thing. So would you explain for the viewers and for our online audience what NUGL is from a user's perspective, what NUGL is from a contributor's perspective, all the things?
So, what NUGL actually became today, which, it wasn't in our original business model. And I think anybody that doesn't move out and change in the cannabis space is a fool, because the industry changes so fast, and then you tack on all the things that we're dealing with today, like the pandemic. So you got to be mobile. So to date, what we are today is we're a cannabis search directory app. And we built the app to accommodate all types of cannabis companies. I think we have maybe 450 different business types on the app. But at the core of what the app does today, it's a dispensary and a brand search app. But it also gives marketing companies, real estate agents, investors, all these other cannabis people and businesses the ability to network. Now that's the core, that's the glue, that's the center. We not by design, as we were signing up all these business profiles, we found out that they didn't have the means to market. Google is not cannabis friendly. Apple is somewhat cannabis friendly. There's a lot of challenges. You don't see marijuana ads on television yet.
Right.
So we bought magazines.
Yeah.
So we built this whole multimedia around the app. So we have video content and video advertising internally. We build our own digital ad server, so we're running banner ads on all our platforms and websites without any interference. And we have the magazines. So we keep adding, to that platform. And I mean, we've gotten involved with our clients in such depth that we almost, became a marketing consulting company in some aspects. But yeah, so we kind of it's a difficult thing when you're doing all these things, but really at the end of the day, we're an advertising company, period. And the software is kind of the net for that. So from a user base, it's good because not only could you find a dispensary, or you can look for a brand, of a certain strain that you like and find it on a map and go to it. But you can also maybe read an article about that company on our magazine. You can also do some research, right? Is CBD right? Or is indica or sativa right for me, right? So, we have all this content that's geared towards the businesses that we're servicing on the software. The content that we provide on the magazine and the things that we do, it's about what we do in our community. We have a slogan that if our user base and our readership can't say, I know them, I've been there, or I've done that, we won't publish it.
Right. So I'm going to ask a really hard question. And I know that so many people have asked me. I know that this is kind of a burning question when you mentioned NUGL versus WeedMaps. So how are we different than WeedMaps? The age-old question, how is NUGL different than WeedMaps?
You always want to give props to companies like WeedMaps. They paved the way. And we wouldn't be here without WeedMaps and those types of companies. They do and have done an amazing job at driving traffic to dispensaries. Our initial focus when we broke into the industry was to provide a platform for all the ancillary companies around it. And, we did a good job on that. And that kind of gave us a little niche. We didn't have to compete as hard, for that space. There's other companies out there that share similar business models to WeedMaps, and they haven't been able to succeed. And now they've pivoted. They've done online, sales now, or bought dispensaries. So everybody's trying to find their niche. I'm being politically correct here. We've always been dispensary friendly. We know that if a person around the corner does not walk into that dispensary, that will have a trickle up effect. And there won't be a NUGL. There won't be a WeedMaps. There's not going to be these big billion-dollar conglomerates and publicly traded companies like Tilray and MedMen. At the end of the day, it comes from retail sales to the consumer. So we've always been very conscious of that. And, that's where we had a lot of challenges with the software because we're trying to be all things to all people. So 2021, it's dispensary and brand time. So why, I'm not going to say we're better. I'm going to say we're different, right? But we provide, a lot of the same services that WeedMaps does, right? We're a map, we're a directory, but we have this marketing platform behind it. So not only could a dispensary be listed on the map and have a featured profile, one, our search results are completely unbiased. Two, you can build that digital footprint, right? Why is your dispensary better than the one down the street? Or what's that story you want to tell in the magazine? And it's all kind of commingled.
If I'm a new dispensary coming in, now I want to talk about the client's perspective, because we've talked about the user's perspective and how they can log in as a user and search for whatever they're looking for. As a client's perspective, I'm a brand new dispensary or grow space or whatever the case may be, and I decide that I want to start with NUGL, whatever that means. So what does that mean? How do I start with NUGL? I make a profile, and then what happens? How do I go from there to utilize all of your moving components?
So, what NUGL's kind of evolved into is think of the profile as your digital home, right? So you create a business profile. It talks about your company. You can tag brands that you carry in your shop. You're on the map. There's, that was my puppy.
Saw the tail.
There's, right, so you have the digital profile. What we like to do is, you start with writing an article, right? And it's, most of our clients sign up for 3, 6, or 12 months. And you got to build that story. You create that digital footprint. a lot of people are trying to get direct sales, or they're trying to get direct traffic right out of the gate, right? And some people can't do that, but those companies that do that, they have somebody running the marketing. They've already established a reputation and branded their company, because the industry is evolving still, right? There's a difference between branding and marketing. What we provide is the ability to brand if you need it, so that when you do market and you're looking for those direct sales, your ROI is a lot higher. So, we get a lot of content out there. We'll write an article. We'll do a NUGL TV interview with Big A. We'll do our new IG Live with Jessica, and build that story up so people know who they're talking to. What's the product you're buying? Who are the people that started this company? And why is it better, quicker, and faster? Then when you're going into that direct sales method, we just put a call to action button on the profile. Buy now, email me, call me, right? A direct call to action so that people can generate sales. Because at the end of the day, all the money that people are spending on marketing with us, it needs to generate into more money, for them in sales. So we're very conscious of that.
Okay, so I hear little birdie told me that there's something coming up called NUGL Coins. Do you want to talk about what those are?
Yeah, I do. We were going to launch this next year, and because of the resources that we've had during the pandemic period, I think we're pretty close. So NUGL Coins is a way for one of our business profiles to gain coins and redeem them for advertising dollars. And that opens up the door to do a lot of things. We're working on finishing the wallet. So everybody's going to have a wallet, and you can have coins, and you can market. And it's not just the ability to redeem those coins in the form of advertising dollars. It gets people thinking about advertising.
Right.
And coming out of the shutdown, you're going to do two things. You're going to grow out of it, or you're going to go out of it. And there's nowhere to go from here. So, we're hoping that things do start to open up, and we're seeing a lot more activity coming in. But it's our job, I think, to kind of get everyone ready to go, because there's not going to be a lot of marketing dollars, and there's not going to be a lot of room for error with our clients. And if we don't have any clients, it's not a good thing. So we want to make sure we're as efficient as we can. So I think the coins are going to be a fun tool, to get people marketing.
I was going to say, if you don't mind me saying so, part of the campaign that we at NUGL are trying to establish and heading into right now is the fact that everybody's sort of sleeping on this time that they could be utilizing to sort of make a name for themselves and get known. And as you were saying, CJ, the Walmarts of the industry, I mean, what I mean by that is like the bigger names in the industry, 6 months down the road, people are still going to remember their name. They're still going to remember who they are. So they don't have to put in the marketing dollars right now. The little guys, 6 months down the road, nobody's going to remember their names. So by not advertising during this time period, by not utilizing this downtime, so to speak, and just putting a little bit of marketing dollars into a campaign every month, that by the end of that same 6 months, you have some brand recognition. People know who you are, and when, as we've said before, when the smoke clears and all the dust settles, you have a name for yourself, opposed to waiting all this time while everybody else is waiting also. Market opens up, and now you're competing with the big guys who have 50 grand to put down on a marketing campaign. And if you're one of the mom and pop shops and you just don't know how to do that, or you don't have the resources to do that, you're gone, man. So
Yeah.
we're doing a bang up job right now establishing some of the things that, CJ, I know you've put together a lot of options for sign-up options for different marketing campaigns that we can do during this downtime to gain people's brand recognition. Do you want to talk a little bit about the new package programs?
Yeah. So one of the things that's important is we always have a free version of the app. So anybody that's in the cannabis space that doesn't have a business profile, that's a big red flag, because it's free, right? You get those free eyeballs. The programs that are going to be coming out, and we're going to start doing bundle deals. And, we have something that caters to the small guy and the big guy. We have clients that spend, well above $10,000 a month with us, and we have clients that spend $50 a month. And each client is equally important. to us. So we want to make sure we fill those needs. And before I get into the specific packages, one of the things that's important, this industry has taken a hit, and it's going to go through a rebirth. And the way we look at it as, a lot of companies aren't here anymore that were here yesterday, and that's just the reality of it. But the people that are here, the line is shorter, and you've moved closer to the front because it will grow again. It's just too strong of an industry. And in any industry that's growing this fast, it's going to go through a bunch of cycles, where it adjusts, and it's always going to be better on the outside coming in. So, that being said, these companies that don't know how or don't have a means to market because there aren't cannabis friendly platforms to do so, we now have that, and we've built a lot in 3 years since we've been in business. So, things like a featured profile for $20, doing a Instagram live, interview, having a print magazine to be in, that lends a lot of credibility, distributing the magazines in all the dispensaries, and then once things open up with the pandemic, we'll do those functions again. We'll drive the NUGL bus to the dispensaries and, start getting into that. But right now, on the digital side, we have everything, banner ads, and we accommodate all budgets.
I think that's just a really good point that you just made too. Just the point that there's no place else for this industry to advertise because they're sort of banned, so to speak, in so many areas, in so many territories. On Google, putting up a weed strain advertisement on Google, so there's very limited resources to how you can get your name out there. Even on IG, there's some restrictions on how to get your name out there. So I think the direction that you've kind of turned this in, yourself and your partner, CJ, I think you guys are doing a bang up job. So let's see. I wrote some notes for myself so that I wouldn't forget to do anything. So let me ask you something. If I wanted to, actually no, I want to go back to what we were saying before. If I wanted to sign up now, so I'm a new dispensary and I want to sign up. What kind of offers are there right now? Like, what can I sign up for and take advantage of introductory marketing for a small mom and pop shop?
Any dispensary should definitely download the app, upgrade it to a featured profile, and run digital banner ads. It's a very inexpensive way to.
What does that profile cost me?
Say that again?
What does a featured profile cost me?
So a featured profile has a pulsating icon on the map, a paid listing on top of all the other listings. You get homepage placement on NUGL.com, featured profile, the call to action button, and you can verify your license. And, that was a big thing. We have to be careful about how much we police things because we're not lawyers and we're not policemen, but we want to make sure that everybody that's on the app is compliant. So you get all those features for $20 a month. And then it's, one click away, you can buy banner ads, and, where CPM is $20 per 1,000, and, create that foot traffic. When you want to get into the next stage, you start telling the story and you write an article, and we'll put you on the podcast and we'll do an IG live. We, with the brands, we're very good at helping, get them into the shops and setting up distribution for them. Leveraging our reach to get them on the shelf. And it's one thing to get on a shelf of a dispensary. It's another thing to get off and get that product sold. So we're very conscious of that too. So we really tailored, the business to date to really accommodate creating foot traffic and getting those dispensaries more eyeballs and more feet walking in. And, the brands making sure they have brand recognition and people are buying their product and asking for it from the bud tenders.
And just to put that really simply, and just to put this out there, if anybody's watching this video right now and you have a mom and pop shop, or you have a hemp CBD or weed cannabis friendly company, and you need some help in your marketing or foot traffic, or we can put you on the map, and download the app and contact us here on Instagram in our DMs, or you can also go to NUGL.com and you'll find the contact information there. But Okay, so I just wanted to drop that really quick because just to give a quick like call to
Plug.
action. Right. um, okay, so what is next? What is next with NUGL? What do we have coming up in the foreseeable future? What can we expect in 2021 after a zombie apocalypse is over?
You know, I'm reluctant to ever forecast because it's generally it changes so quick, but we're very good at changing. So I think, you know, if we're really excited about the position we're in going into the market, and you know, we never ever want to wish bad on another company, and we would never want, you know, our competition to go away. Competition's good. Um, so we don't get into that. We don't even feel like we have competition. We'll do business with everybody because the cannabis industry is so big and there's so few players in it, especially today. Everybody's going to need everybody.
Well, I
So
don't. So it's if it's two different outlets, you know, if I'm advertising on CNN, that I there's no reason I shouldn't also advertise on Fox, right?
yeah,
Whichever,
absolutely.
you
And
know.
you know, we got to make sure there's a market, right? And it needs to become even more mainstream than it is today. Um, so you know, I don't want to say 2020 you kind of write off the books, right? But you know, it was an interesting year, and you know, anybody that says closing the economy is good for them is a different breed, right? It's not good for us. But you know, we feel like in 2020 we really took advantage of the downtime and did the blocking and tackling that we feel is going to pay off in 2021. 2021 is going to be the focus of making sure that we are a staple in every dispensary across the country. We're working with as many brands as we can to make sure these brands live, build, and thrive in the dispensaries. And we think, you know, that focus will accommodate all the other businesses, you know, that we've been working with for the past 3 years. Um, you know, it's amazing how there's such a gap in NUGL being publicly traded, right? But also a very street conscious company as well. There's such a gap between Main Street and Wall Street in the cannabis space. And when I say Wall Street, I'm not just referring to cannabis or publicly traded cannabis companies. I'm referring to all the ancillary companies too. But again, it comes back to the dispensary. If the dispensaries aren't healthy and thriving, none of us are going to be healthy and thrive. So we're gonna continue to build the platform to accommodate those dispensaries, and we think that everything else will be a trickle down effect, you know, because of what we built for the last 3 years.
Now, do you want to talk about just mentioning the market really quickly? But I know that Bobby Wayne's World mentioned driving stock prices higher, and I know that NUGL is publicly traded on the OTC market, so that is very cool news, by the way. But you want to touch on that a little bit and hot buy, and here's why, and why should I buy
No, well, we don't ever talk about the stock price. It is what it is, and the market dictates it.
it? Right.
You know, what we focus on at the company is, you know, we're always conscious of being publicly traded, and you know, our second priority is our investor base. Our first priority will always be the fundamentals of running the business, because at the end of the day, that's what protects our investors. You know, being a publicly traded company in the space right now, you know, really for the past 2 years has been difficult. The market as a whole, I believe, had almost a 90% drop a year and a half ago, and as the recovery was attempting to happen, you know, then we were hit with this pandemic. So uh, that will recover collectively. But again, you know, we're here. We're not going anywhere. The company continues to get stronger on the fundamentals of the business. You know, and how that's perceived in the stock market is how it's perceived. We haven't been doing a lot of marketing on our own, you know, as of late, because we just kind of we felt our money and our time and our resources were best being applied to getting ready for 2021, you know, and building everything that we've built to date. And, you know, I think the next couple months as we launch and announce the things that we're doing, and, you know, this being really the beginning of it today, you know, the stock will do what it does. But, you know,
Right.
we're confident with the business.
And I think that's Yeah, that's a really good note. Just that we've taken this time, the downtime, um, just because the forefront, we're not seen in the forefront of things, does not mean that we're not working hard in the background. And you were mentioning earlier, I think you touched on it, that some of um, the applications on the NUGL app and stuff like that have been refined. You want to talk a little bit about what changes there have been made on the NUGL app?
Yeah, so we had to rebuild the whole front end for compliance reasons. Apple, which kind of dictates the compliance on the app side of the world, made a lot of changes to regulate interstate compliance, much like the gambling industry has done. So we tackled that, and instead of just tackling that, we rebuild everything from scratch. So the apps are more efficient. They can handle much more traffic, and it's much easier to update them with all the changes. And what people don't understand unless you're a developer, anytime you make one change, that means you have to update the web app, the database, the Android app, the Apple app. It's a lot of work. And when you have hundreds of features that constantly need updating, the company gets so big that you're constantly updating. So there's an updating department, right? Not just a development department. And when you're in the cannabis space, that is so critical because, if our app goes down, our company goes down. And unfortunately, a lot of companies couldn't overcome a lot of those obstacles. I think there were probably 200 search directory companies in the space.
Wow.
And, yeah, and maybe there's, 10 that I'm aware of. So we did it. So we're confident with the code base and what we've done moving forward that, we're not going to have to address this on that degree moving forward. What was the other part of your question? I forgot it.
How we've changed the application, what refinements we've made to the application, and
Yeah.
what additions we've made to NUGL.
So NUGL before was basically a map in a directory service. We actually built our own search analytics, which is a huge undertaking. One of the biggest companies in the world has done that, and its name is Google. So we have our own search, and what that does is it gives us the ability to grow, build, and we're not dependent on anybody. So now you can type a strain, a dispensary, a brand, a location, anything you need in the search, and those search results will apply to the map and the profiles and give you the data you need to, have a good user experience. Also, we're not there yet, but because the multimedia arm of the company has taken on, such a important part of the company and it's important to the industry, we're going to integrate those search results into that as well. And we're kind of figuring out the logistics, but it will expand into that too. So now you can see the dispensary on the map, you can read about them in the magazine, but you can do it all in one place. But yeah, it's a pretty robust application. I think once people start using it, it'll have a good respect in the space.
It is exciting. It is exciting. I mean, I sort of joined the NUGL team recently, and this is why I joined. This is why I like it so much. You guys are just finishing up some refinements. You guys are right on the verge of some announcements, and there's all this space to kind of grow while we still have this so-called downtime, which is really exciting because unfortunately some things didn't make it, but fortunately for those that were able to pull through, it does give you a moment to breathe and dream and build and grow something so that when it does open up again, we can take off. And I just find that really exciting. I think there's so many applications to NUGL, and there's so much potential, and there's so much growth, and there's so many cool things in the works that, that I think 2021 is going to be very cool.
Yeah, me too.
DJ, thank you so much for being here. If there's anything you would like to add, say no, forever hold your peace.
No, I think no, I think that caught it. But I think I want everyone to know in the industry that we're working, and we've never been a company that kind of boasts or brags or puts everything out there. We just kind of grind it out. We have a good family internally. We're adding a lot of people to it as of late, and I think, like you said, 2021 is going to be awesome.
It is. It is. This whole year feels like a slingshot. Hold back, and we're almost there. So
Yeah.
hang in. Um, so thank you guys, everybody, for joining us. For everybody watching us now, mwah, happy 420. Thank you so much for watching Backyard Working with Jessica. I am Jessica. CJ.
Bye bye.
Bye, guys.